Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another edition of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, June 21st of 2017. And oh boy, did I have a doozy of a fucking week. Let's start off with Pokemon. I was busting my ass all week trying to get Mew via the Mew glitch on Pokemon Blue. Because one of the guys up at the Pokemon League is missing Mew, and I'm like, oh well, you can get Mew on Pokemon Blue and it'll transfer. Turns out there is a Mew that will transfer, but it wasn't the one that I got. And there is one that I can get, but to say it's a convoluted process is a bit of an understatement, because it's kind of ridiculously convoluted. But I'll look into it in the near future. But the funny thing is, the whole thing was completely moot because that guy didn't make it this week anyway. We had one guy who, for reasons I haven't quite figured out, was just handing out free cards. And I don't mean just handing out, he'd like put 3 cards down, shuffle them, and let you pick. And there'd be a rare one in there, and I actually got one of the rare ones that was this Espeon GX, I think. And I also got an Oranguru that was foil, I think. And it was, there was one girl who was trying to get the Espeon. It's like, hey, can I have it? I'm like, sure, you know. Did a couple battles, and only one of them really went my way. Because the first time I battled the guy, I was testing my Tiny Turny team, by the way. Didn't actually get to test it in doubles, but it performed well enough. First battle, the guy actually had it set to the rules where you play at your level, and mine were geared for level 50 fights, so I'm up against level 70 shit. He's like, oh, I only lost one Pokemon. I'm like, well, considering that you had a 20 to 30 level gap over me, that's not something I'd brag about. The fact that you lost any, you know. Second round, he was talking to someone when he should have been picking his team, so as a result, only one of his team actually got transferred. I'm like, you know, part of me wants a little payback, so my 6 destroyed his 1. And then we had another round where it was the actual 6-on-6 at level 50, and I lost that one. Shit happens, you know. But I got to test the mechanics of the team, and it went pretty well for me. I think it will do well in the Tiny Tourney. I don't think it'll do well outside of it, because the problem is a lot of these smaller Pokemon, like the ones I'm using, aren't necessarily geared to take on some of the bigger ones, because a lot of the legendaries and shit are bigger. You know, stuff that's banned in this actual tournament. Now, not in every case, because a properly set up Hawlucha can wreck just about anything. But the point stands. So that was Pokemon. There was no HeroClix this week, obviously, although our judge actually did get back yesterday. He called me. And we talked on the phone on the entire ride home from the library, and turns out one of the terror attacks that happened in London happened 15 minutes from where he was at. And that was actually his biggest concern, going to London, is all the fucking terror attacks. And I frankly don't blame him, because that's some creepy shit, you know? The fact that that's even something that any human being should worry about is a cause for alarm in and of itself. But he's back. I told him that his clicks games on Tuesday actually cost me a job. He's like, well, I wish you would have told him otherwise, because if you gotta skip clicks for a while, then do it. I'm like, okay, but every time I do, you bust my ass over it, you know. But you know what? Let's see if I got some shit I can sell in here. Just actual fruits and shit that I don't necessarily need to hold on to. Keep those. Alright. That's not a good super melon thing. We'll save these because these are actually seeds. The rest of this shit's gonna go into the box. Or no, it's gonna go into the store because I can use it immediately then. And maybe this week I'll even have enough for my gold pickaxe. But I also told him that I'm planning to skip this upcoming draft. I thought it was going to be Wonder Woman. It's going to be What If, and I actually like the What If set, but I'm not going to have the money for figures. I'm not going to get to keep any of the figures, and it's just going to frustrate me. So I'm like, he's like, okay, whatever. I'm like, plus I've got Pokemon as an alternative. Fucking shit. Really? I've got to get in here and do this shit manually? That's bullshit. I don't like that about the new control scheme. Perfect. And I also told him that starting next month, I'm going to be skipping 1 week of HeroClix each month, so I can do Pokemon. So, oh, okay, that's cool, man. Great that you have something to play with. And I was worried he would get pissy about that, because in the past, whenever I try to skip HeroClix, a lot of times, like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I got something else I want to do. But he seemed cool with it, so hopefully that'll be a thing, that I'll just play Pokemon every now and then, because I love Pokemon. It's a lot of fun. It's just, I haven't really had the means or the drive to do it as of late, because it's kind of complex to get to, you know? Yeah, this will get me my my pickaxe. It'll set me up right pretty. The 4-job fiesta has started. I am 5 videos in. I took a little bit of a break. The guy, I think I'm pronouncing this right, Bustin, actually commented on video 1. He's like, yeah, I was the guy who was giving you tips. I don't know how far you are in right now, but you can get a lot of cool stuff because you got Thief. I'm like, oh, I've been using Thief, because that's my job. I have my first 3 jobs. First job is Thief, which is on Bart's. Second job on Reyna is Berserker. Third job I do not have yet because of the mechanics of it, but it is Ranger for Ferris. Or Hunter, whatever you want to call it. I go back and forth on what I actually call it. But I don't have it yet because there are 5 crystals for the Fire Crystal. You get 3 of them at the Fire Crystal and the other one after the library. And I haven't gotten to the after the library point yet, you know? So I don't technically have that crystal yet, even though I have that crystal. But I told him in the second video I use Thief, and at the end of the second video I grind all the way up until I learn Mug, and that's what I do exclusively on that character. So I'm like, trust me, I got lots of good shit. But yeah, I took a momentary hiatus on recording that. Suikoden 2 is really far. It could possibly be done, but I lost an entire day due to a glitch. There's a glitch near the battle with Necklord where one of the guys leaves town and then you're teleported to the house to talk to Victor. Well, the glitch trips every now and then where you're just teleported to the house and nobody's in it and you can't leave. In which point, the only thing you can do is reset your game. Well, I marathon a lot of these in a row, and because... Well, I thought it would just continue, would just send you right back to where you were, but continue send you back to your last save. I hadn't been saving, and so I literally lost 5 videos worth of progress, which most of it I got back within 3 hours. The problem was, one of the characters that I had recruited was called Muku Muku, and he's a flying squirrel who appears at random if you do certain things. And doing those certain things took me a day. I lost over 24 hours on this fucking squirrel. So, it's still done for the year. I have like 53 episodes and I needed 22. So, 2017 stuff is done. I just haven't uploaded those yet because they're not due till August. Also, I've been watching Star's channel, her Twitch channel, every now and then. I'm not particularly invested in the games. It's just an excuse to hang out with a friend, you know, and tease the shit out of her because that's what I do. I especially have to because when I popped into the stream after not being seen for like a year, she's like, oh, it's Kyrix, he's one of my horrible people. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm one of the horrible people. I gotta play now. You know, I gotta play for the camera. But, I've been catching at least one of hers almost every day. I missed today because of reasons. But, also Phoebe, who, longtime viewers will know is basically responsible for me having a channel in the first place because she hooked me up with my first and second XSplit being the second. Recording softwares. She made it possible for me to do recordings. So, she is now doing the 4-job fiesta as well. Which I would love to take credit for, but I don't think I can. Because I actually brought it up with her once. I'm like, hey, do you think you would do the 4-job fiesta? She's like, what is that, you know? But she is doing it. Her first job is monk. I don't know if she's on her second yet. Because I found out as I was walking out the door to go to Pokemon. So, that's a thing. But, also, I started my Ash Ketchum run of Pokemon Yellow, which I had some input from Star on, which the input being, should I use Snorlax and Lapras? Because the Ash run is basically a run of Pokemon Yellow, where you only use Pokemon that Ash has ever owned. Meaning, I can't catch Pidgey and evolve with the Pidgeotto, I have to catch Pidgeotto. That took me about an hour. Off screen, but it took me about an hour, you know? And he caught Lapras and Snorlax, but not in Kanto. He did that in the Orange Island filler arc. And I'm like, oh, they are in the game, and he did have them. Should I get them? And her response was, yeah, it'll give you some more variety. I'm like, okay, cool. The fan has spoken. Right now, no one else has really commented in any way, shape, or form on the Jedi Power Battles vote. So it still stands at 1 vote for 84 videos. So, come July, I'm going to have 84 new videos on my channel. But, what else? I made arrangements so that next month I'll be able to cover all my bills and still get, sorry about the hiccup, Death Road to Canada, which I am particularly excited about. Ooh, largemouth bass. That's going to cost all of the money. Oh, no, it won't. That's the fall seeds. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. It's a Christmas tree. Take the apricot. But, again, what am I getting about? Oh, yeah, and I lost it again. God damn it. Think, Kyrix, think. But yeah, I've got lots of stuff on the docket, as it were. Now, the real elephant in the room. Kyrix, how did you do at Star Trek? Second place, bitches. Kyrix took second fucking place. I am so proud of myself. And I am right to be. Because I fucking earned that. I do feel kind of like shit, though, because I played the judge in the last round, as I often do. I play him almost every game. Whether it's usually first or last round. You know, I usually either open with him or end with him. And he was one of my 2 wins. My loss, by the way, was to the guy who won. And I'm proud of that. I always like, if I have to lose, I want to lose to the guy who won. Because then I could say, hey, everybody lost to him, you know. It's a minor salve for the ego, but fuck it, I'll take it. The gist of my strategy was I used the NX-01 Enterprise, which is Archer's Enterprise. It has an evasion rating of 3, and I'm going to get technical here. I had Will Riker on there to give it a 4 dice, and Jordi LaForge, who, he does 1 extra dice up to 2. I think this is one of them. Yep, that's one of them. Don't think I have either of these. God damn it, let me look at them. Shad, catfish, sunfish. Nope, don't have any of those. Oops, nope. Anyway, he lets me have an extra dodge per tech, and I had 2 tech. One was freebie, and the other one was just, what's it called? The other one was a transporter, which I wasn't actually able to use because of how the rules in particular worked. But so that gave me 6 dodge dice and 2 free dodges if I needed them. Well, the guy who won had the scimitar and oh fuck, what was it? He had the Cardassian Hideki fighters, which are a pain in the ass. And the The two of them combined their firepower to just chunk me. I mean, I lost like 11 dice in one attack. And here's the fucked up thing, I dodged almost all of them. I missed 4. My hull was 3. So yeah, he one-shotted me. He was only able to do it once, but once was all he fucking needed. You know what I mean? Artisan bundle. That's where this comes in. Apricot. The milk is no. Perfect. And these are the harvesties. Could have sworn there was something that shell was used for. Oh, there's the yam, or the root rather. Now I just need the berries. But yeah, I got chunked. And as I'm sitting there with the judge talking about my team, I'm like, well, I don't like the NX because my strategy was around a character named Sirna Kohlrami. And Kohlrami's trick is, if I cancel all of your attack dice, the number of hits that you would have had, I can send back at you as my own attack, up to 4. And it kills him, but my Vulcan captain that I had equipped allows me to bring him back to life each turn. And Kohlrami's 5 points, and I'm looking at the build, I'm like, I don't really like this build because it's really pricey, etc., etc., I don't like this, don't like that, don't like that. And then he announced that I came in second, I'm like, well, now I feel like shit. Why? Because I just talked about how much I hate this build and it got me second place. But that, by the way, was not even the coolest thing that happened that day. Oh no, there's more. Turned out, this particular tournament fell on the date of their 3rd year anniversary of the store. You may or may not recall me talking about the 2nd year anniversary that I went to, which involved lots of food, just a table full of food. And I only stayed for a couple hours that day. This day I got there at like, let's say 6:45, and stayed until 2:10 in the fucking morning. So I had like 4 pieces of cake. I had the equivalent out of, they had these little cubes of cheese. I had the rough equivalent of a brick and a half of cheese, like maybe 10 ounces of cheese, just eating those things all day. Had a piece of apple pie, had a little bit of mac and cheese, had a hot dog and took 4 more home. I was grazing off this shit all day, which was what it was there for. Don't think I was just there mooching. This was for everyone, and I was part of everyone. So I went there thinking, oh, this ramen that I ate before I left is all I'm eating today. No, I had a spread. And of course, I used what little money I had left to get a soda while I was up there. Good soda. So I had one soda. Was thirsty for most of the day because of all the shit I was eating, but fuck it, free food, you know. But that, again, not even the coolest, well, not the only cool thing that happened. So we close up shop, and I don't mean they close up as in they close up, because they don't close until everyone leaves. But we, the Star Trek players, were closing up around midnight 30 kind of thing, right? This guy comes up to us, and we'd seen him before because he and his son had been just, you know, watching everybody play, and he was asking me specifically stuff about Star Trek and how it plays compared to X-Wing and whatnot. And I was running through the mechanics. And he and his son were still there, and he's like, hey, we're going to run this game. We want to know if you guys want to play. We need 6 people. We have, like, 2 or 3 already. Give me a second. I'm getting texted at. It's my friend. I made a comment like, at least you didn't get blown up. Welcome back to the country. He's like, yeah, thanks. That was about an hour ago, but he can be kind of slow sometimes. But anyway, he's like, oh, we need 6 people, and there were 4 of us left. Or actually, we're like 5 or 6 of us. And enough of us agreed. And I was tentative on agreeing because I needed to get home and walk the dog. She'd been in her carrier since about 6 p.m. And I'm like, how long is this game? Because games can last forever if they're certain games, you know. He's like, oh, it's 35 minutes. I'm like, well, an extra half an hour won't hurt. So we stuck around. Turns out this is a game he himself was developing. And I say developing. It was sold already. You know, like it had been, god damn it. it had been sold to a company, and it was in production and all that fun shit. And they were working through the kinks still before it, hit the stores, I guess. And they were already talking expansions. But it is called Etten War and Peace. And I am in the playtesting credits. Because at the end of the game, fun game by the way, I'll get into the rough mechanics of it in a minute. I actually talked about it in my 4-job Fiesta as well. I don't know what episode, probably like 2 or 3. But at the end of it, he's like, hey, do any of you want to add your name in the phone and we will put you in the credits in the book. The gist of it is a cooperative army card game. Was Ghostfish on the list? And I just missed it, or... Let me take a peek here. Pantry. Fish tank. Yes. Need to add that Ghostfish in. Basically, you team up with someone and you each pick a race. I picked elves. My partner picked basically giants. They had a different name, but they were described as giants. Which is ironic because we picked the 2 hardest races. I picked elves right off the bat before anything was said, because green. Kyrix is a sucker for green. I like green. It's a very pretty and soothing color. The reason that was so rough is because we had the most expensive units. But the perk to that is our units tended to be some of the best. And how it works is you use gold to buy units and you can sell units. There are troops that can, they're basically instants for one fight and then they go into the graveyard because they want to go home. Defenses, which can be used in battle, and you, at the end of battle, if they're not taken as a spoil, which means scored, terrain you put them as a permanent defense. There are heroes who can be sent into dungeons and actually score them as adventurers. And heroes can also be troops, like there are troop heroes. And I think heroes also go into the graveyard. I forget what it's called. I think it's your retired pile. I think it's what it was called. And how 3 drafts over 3 turns. The first turn is war number 1, where you have what's called a skirmish round, which is you and your opponent lay 4 cards in front of you. Whoever has initiative card, second person picks the other 2, and initiative gets the last one. And then you decide, do I want to buy these and put them in my war camp, or do I want to sell them for money? And then you have a turn. In a peace turn, you draft with your partner, where you put 4 things, 2 from mine, 2 from his, and we look at them together and decide, okay, you get these 2, I get these 2. And again, you either buy or sell them. Then you have another first. Then you set your units face down. Like, I had, I want to say, a village, a city, ruins, and we have an adventurer. Now, that was just my elven camp had those. Other person might have 2 ruins or a town or something like that, And I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this one face down on the city, this one on the village, these 2 on the ruins, and I'll send this hero to the adventure. And get more points. Whoever gets more points wins. There are abilities like I have a lot of scouting units, and when I lay down scout, I lay him face up, and I get to see what he's already placed. Also, it's placed as a system of I place 1, then he places 2, then I place 2, 2, 2, 2, back and forth, until everything's placed. And then, you do your things. War number 2 is peace, skirmish, peace, war. And war number 3 is skirmish, peace, skirmish, war, just like the first round. And then you and your partner add up all the points you've earned and decide who wins. Now, the other thing I didn't explain, the partner system. Let's call us, let's say that one group was player 1 and 2, me and my partner were 3 and 4, and the last group was 5 and 6. Well, 1 and 6 are fighting each other. 2 and 3 are fighting each other. 4 and 5 are fighting each other. Hold on. Yeah, 1 and 6 are fighting. 2 and 3 are fighting. 4 and 5 are fighting. 6 and 1 are fighting. And also I hit the mouse. So the 3 of us are each fighting a different side, or each partner's fighting a different side. And he talked about a convention where there was going to be a 100-person game. And I thought that was silly, and then I'm like, you know, actually no, because it kind of happens in a 4-person microcosm. And they kept trying, one of the guys kept trying to interject that, no, it all affects. I'm like, yes, but that doesn't matter. I'm not concerned what's happening 4 tables over. My concern is my direct opponent and my partner's direct opponent, and you run your own race kind of thing, you know? So it's something that I had him add me on Facebook, and if he's up there again, I will try to play, you know? Might send him a message at some point like, hey, when are you going to be up there next? Because I can, if I know you're going to be there, I can make an attempt to be there myself. But yeah, if you see Etten War and Peace in the store, it requires a lot of people to play, so it's not like, say, Scrabble, where you and your roommate can sit down and fucking play. It is very much a group game, but if you have a group of people and you like fun and strategic games, pick it up. Kyrix gives it his personal recommendation. Plus, I'm in the credits, so that's fun. Though not as Kyrix. That more or less sums up my week. It was a lot of fun. I had a good week. I've got a couple more job prospects that have popped up. Like there's an Aldi's that just opened nearby. Last night we came home from Little Caesars. So I got a Little Caesars pizza. That was fun. We came from Little Caesars. My roommate's like, "Hey, that car wash is hiring." I'm like, "Oh, that's nearby. I'll drop that off." I got to get the name for it, but I have absolutely no issues working for a car wash. You know, it sounds like something I would enjoy. Let's grab these and toss them into the pile. Boop, boop, and a boop. So give me this, and give me this, and this, and this. So, for the next couple days, I've got a busy schedule of recording shit, because I always do. But I'm working on, like, 4 different Let's Plays, because I gotta finish the 4-Job Fiesta, because that's a daily upload. I've got the Pokemon Ash Run, which will air as a bonus this year. It's not going to hit the schedule, but it'll be, while it's going up, it will be a daily release as well. I've got to finish Suikoden, so I can upload the entire thing and just be done with it. And apparently Suikoden 2's data can go to Suikoden 3. My friend Skinner confirmed it. I'm talking to him, by the way. He called me the other day from Tennessee. I told him that I describe him as living in one of the banjo states, and he got a big kick out of that. Because his sense of humor is as fucked up as mine is. Ooh, melon seeds. Those are nice. I like me some melon seeds. So yeah, it's... Oh, let me, Sturgeon, one of the community center things. Because if it is, I want to do that up right quick. Not that one. No. Is that a sturgeon? That appears to be a sturgeon, so let's pop that little fucker right into the tank, shall we? But I want to get Suikoden done. I've started Infamous. Got to get that done. I have Jedi Power Battle starting in July. I've got a lot of shit to work on. And the beautiful thing is, it's all next year shit. I mean, except for the 2 bonus videos. It's all shit for next year, or later. Like, Jedi Power Battles, I don't know if that's going up in 2018 or 2019, but... Oh god, there are no words to describe how fucking thrilled I am with how far ahead of schedule I'm getting. Because that way, if something does happen, if the worst happens, it comes up that I can't get a job right away and I have to go fucking live with mom or something and just live off of ramen and just have no internet and shit for a couple of months until I get work, it won't matter because channel's gonna keep on rolling, you know? You'll still get content from me. I'll have dropped off the face of the earth, but you'll still get your footage. You just won't get updates. You won't get special bonus videos. Well, you won't get... I can't necessarily say that because I will still have it in me to record, and I can just go to McDonald's and upload shit still, but, I mean, it won't be like it normally is, kind of thing. But it's good to know that if something comes up, like let's say a month from now, or let's say this month, I have a job finally, and I have this job for 6 months, and then I get fired for whatever reason, I don't have disability to fall back on, I just kind of drop off the radar for a while, you're still good. My channel will continue, whether I'm active on it or not, and I like that. I like the idea. I hate when I have a day go by with a video not up, and the funny thing is there's no reason to. You know, even people who love my channel, you know, all one of them that live in my head. But no, even... I told that to Star, for example, that I had that much stuff. It's like, Jesus Christ! Nobody uploads like that. Which isn't true. Steven from Steven Plays does. And he does his live. I don't know how the fuck he does that. Good for him. Him and Mal both. You know. I don't watch his channel often. Not because I don't like him, just because I watch so many fucking people, and he doesn't necessarily always do games that are like, oh, I gotta watch this. But whenever I do watch him, he is tremendously funny. I don't need to plug his channel, but fuck it, I'm plugging his channel. Go watch Stephen George on Stephen Plays. He and his wife are awesome. They're just cool people in general. Plus, I legitimately like the fact that his wife is so fucking good at video games. You know? It's a lot of fun to see girls who are good at video games. Funny thing is, that actually came up, one of the girl that I actually gave that, what's it to, the Espeon card? I have battled her before up there, and she says, yeah, I've got a male name and character, because a lot of people get pissy when they get beat by a girl. I'm like, why? You know... There's no difference in men and women when it comes to skill in a video game. Matter of fact, back in the days of Pong, women used to hustle men at Pong because they actually, it's either their spatial reasoning or the reflexes, something in them was biologically better at working the Pong paddle. So you would have women hustling men like men would hustle in pool, kind of thing. Like, oh, I'll spot you the quarter, I'll play you for $5 or something like that, you know, and they'd fucking take them for a ride. No, there's no inherent difference in skill, it's just how much fucking effort you put into it. If you train and work at Pokemon like I do, you're gonna be good. You might not be tournament level, but you'll whoop the average schmuck, you know? I mean, just the fact that I do IV breed and EV train, there are people who flat out will not battle me because they know, just by the virtue of the fact that I breed my own fighters and train them, not just level them, train them. They're like, no, you're already, just for that, on a level above what I'm ready for. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I respect that, you know? I don't play meta gamers in HeroClix. It's just not a thing I do because it's not fun. I mean, you gotta know your limits. You gotta know where you sit. I am a phenomenal HeroClix player. I mean, if you take the meta Worlds players completely out of the equation, I am absolutely a top tier player. But when you get into the hyper meta 300-point games, I will lose every fucking time. I will lose 9.5 times at least out of 10. We're talking like a 95% loss rate in 300 points meta, because I don't think meta 300 points. I just don't. I'm not wired that way. There's nothing wrong with it. It's hyper-competitive, and I just don't do hyper-competitive. It's not fun for me. And just because it's not fun for me doesn't mean you're horrible for playing it. It's just, it's fun for you. Enjoy it. Be grateful that it's something that is fun for you, because it's not for a lot of people. Just respect that, you know? I mean, we'll all crack the jokes, oh, you're horrible for doing this. You're not horrible, we're just pissed because you beat us, you know? But no, I don't... And see, there's a thing... Oops, sorry. There we go. There was a thing during, one of the feminist YouTubers, I think, was making videos like, oh, I'm sick of being called out on my nerd cred or something just because I'm a girl. And a lot of people's response, including mine, is you're not being called out on your nerd cred because you're a girl. You're getting called out on your nerd cred because you're claiming nerd cred. That's the thing. When you go with nerds, there's a fucking hierarchy. There's a hierarchy to nerddom. You know? Like, we'll use Star Wars as an example. We're going to throw the whole prequel versus original trilogy out the window. We're going to pretend that doesn't exist. That argument doesn't exist, right? Just for the sake of this. If you come up to me and say, oh, I am such a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I just live it. It's so awesome, etc. And I ask you the question, oh, well, what's your favorite lightsaber form? If you can't answer, you have gone down several notches on the nerd ladder to me. That you don't know what the lightsaber forms are, let alone that they even exist. That shows me, oh, you're one of those people who just watched the movies and the cartoons. Doesn't make you a bad person, it just puts you lower on the ladder than me. You just dropped a spot in the hierarchy. Because I read the novels and the fucking background material. Doesn't make me better than you, it just makes me nerdier than you. You see what I mean? Likewise, if someone's talking Harry Potter and they ask me something and I say, oh, I don't follow Harry Potter, that alone, in some circles, will drop my nerd cred. Not that I claimed anything on Harry Potter, but the fact that I know nothing at all, you know? It's just how that shit works. You will be tested. It's not that we don't trust you, although a lot of nerds are very untrustworthy about people just trying to infiltrate the nerd ranks, you know? It very much is a secret club. It's not necessarily a boys' club, but you gotta pay your dues and you gotta know your shit, or else you're going to get mercilessly mocked. I mean, whenever you see shit... Alright, let me put it this way. When it comes to teasing, the worst people tend to be women teasing other women. Just, they get mean, you know? Second on that list, nerds teasing other nerds, you know? I mean, I'm gonna let all the jocks in there who've ever teased nerds, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. You know how you make fun of us, you push us around, oh, they're so weak, etc., you know? We tease the fuck out of you when you're not around. Like, oh, he doesn't even know this, you know? It's a thing. We do. We fucking make fun of you for that shit. So, the teasing goes both ways, you just don't know about it. Because we like having our faces. They're not great faces, but they're the only ones we have, and we don't want them caved in. So we don't tell you this shit to your face. But believe me, it gets said. But no, the whole nerd cred thing, it very much is a thing. There's a ladder. Likewise, if, let's say if I ask you what your favorite lightsaber style is, and you go on some shit that I don't know, well shit, you just not only passed me on the nerd cred ladder, but I might have taken a dip as a result, you know? You fucking went both ways, like, oh shit! Ooh, you just jumped up the nerd ladder, and now Kyrix is fucking knocked down a rung. It's a hierarchical thing. It really is. Now, generally what'll happen, it won't come up a lot, because generally what'll happen is nerds will congregate with nerds in their social circle. You know, like, a lot of my friends are Whovians. I am not. I have somehow managed to never see a single episode, despite hanging out with all these Whovians. I have, however, seen reviews due to SF debris. So I am minimally knowledgeable. Like, I know, I think it was Tom Baker was the 4th Doctor, that is to say the actor. I know, I think it was David Tennant was, I want to say the 10th Doctor? I know small things. I know what the Daleks are. I know what the Weeping Angels are. I know what Cybermen are. I know certain things. You're not going to be able to carry on a complete conversation, but you can mention certain things, and I will be able to at least nod my head and try to follow along. You know. Meanwhile, our HeroClix judge likes Star Wars, but he just likes Star Wars. He's not a fan. You know, he's seen the movies. Hasn't seen any of the animated shit. You know, definitely hasn't read any of the books. So, when I go off on shit about Star Wars, he will ask me Star Wars things just so he can basically laugh at the fact that I know this shit. Well, at one point, he kind of shot himself in the ass because he was feeling in the mood to basically tease me about knowing Star Wars. And he asked me something, and I answered, and his roommate promptly jumped in on the conversation, and so did Skinner and Anubis. Well, Anubis didn't, but then again, he never jumps in on any conversation. So me, Skinner, and his roommate are fucking going on about Star Wars. Suddenly, he's the joke because he's the only one who can't jump in on the conversation. And he tried to salvage it and like, no, we're talking Star Wars. Go drive the car. We're busy doing nerd shit. So, yeah, when you want to tease a nerd, make sure there are no other nerds in the room because we'll fucking lose you. We'll leave your ass behind. Like, oh shit, I got someone to talk nerdy to now. But, no, nerd culture is very elitist. And I like it that way. And I have a very petty reason for liking it that way. And there are people who say, oh, nerd culture should be more inclusive. No, it absolutely should not. When I say inclusive, I mean this. I don't care what country you're from, what religion you are, what you do or do not have between your fucking legs. I don't care how old you are, how smart you are, how stupid you are. I ask exactly one thing of you. Know what the fuck you're talking about. Because here's the thing. Those of us who are in the nerd culture before the year 2000, when nerdy shit started becoming really popular, we got that way by sacrificing social status and fucking all that shit. Because now you can be nerdy and cool. When I was young, no, you were one or the other. And we chose nerdy. And it pisses me off that, oh, well, nerdy's cool now. No, nerdy shouldn't be cool. Because that kind of invalidates everything we fucking went through to get to the nerd point, you know? And it pisses me off when someone tries to claim that status without putting in the fucking legwork. Like, if you call yourself a Star Wars fan and you've never read the books or the comics or played the video games or watched the cartoons and you only know the fucking 7 movies or just some of them, I'm not going to dispute that you like Star Wars, but I'm going to dispute the fact that you are a Star Wars fan because you don't know fucking shit about it. You know? Meanwhile, I put in the legwork and I got teased about this shit. I'm still getting teased about this shit. So I've earned the right to have that fucking title. You know? Up and down to wood. Oh, that reminds me, I should get some hardwood. I'll tell you one thing, those melon seeds are going to help quite a bit, because right now I'm at the point where I've set up my my lot, my docket here, as well as I need to. Probably next week's thing will be spent getting more silver and maybe some gold, so that I can smelt some more ores, some more ingots, and get more sprinklers. But right now, over halfway through the month, I have to start thinking about getting my spring crops up. So you're going to see me selling a lot more shit now. I'll worry about stockpiling and crap like that later. Oh shit. Well, that's not gonna... We're not gonna stand for that shit. I do, however, want to chop these trees. No, fuck it. It doesn't matter if I chop them today or tomorrow. I'll chop them tomorrow. You give me something to do. So yeah, to sum it up, nerds are fucking elitist, and it's supposed to be that way. That's the way... That is the natural order of things. I mean, let me put it this way. People get snarky about that, but let's say you're a jock. Let's say you're on the fucking varsity team. You've been playing since middle school. Do you want a fucking nerd on your fucking varsity team? Someone with no athletic prowess whatsoever? Do you want them as one of your starters? Because I don't think you do. Well, likewise, we don't want your fucking ass on our nerd squads. Fucking jocking up the place. Because you're dragging the rest of us down, you know? I mean, if you don't like it, then fucking put Dexter as one of your fucking starting football defensive linebackers or whatever the fuck the term is, you know? I don't know the sports ball terms. Oh, looks like I'm gonna get some iridium. My shit done blowed up. Anyway, that was a fun little update to record, and I will see you all next week. Did he turn the air off again? Oh, good. That'll pop up at the start, so I'll know for next week. All right, see you, everybody. Bye-bye.